If you live in the Tampa Bay or St. Petersburg area, you probably have a clear vision for your backyard, a pristine, bug-free outdoor space where you can actually enjoy the climate year-round. But when you start collecting contractor bids to make that happen, the quotes are going to be all over the place. You will see numbers ranging anywhere from $15,000 all the way up to $45,000 or more. The reason for that massive gap comes down to physics. A coastal screen enclosure is a regulated architectural system, subject to physical forces that standard patio construction methods simply aren't built to handle. Choosing a low bid without understanding the underlying engineering usually results in structural failure down the road, meaning you lose the entire investment. Look at this breakdown. The first major threat is the constant aerodynamic assault from seasonal hurricanes. Standard frames lack the dynamic retention to handle that pressure, twisting and shearing under 50-mile-per-hour gusts. The second issue is the corrosive coastal salt air and constant humidity. When builders use standard steel screws on untreated aluminum in that coastal air, it causes a rapid chemical reaction called galvanic corrosion. To prevent the metals from destroying each other, the structure requires an engineering upgrade: powder-coated T6 aircraft aluminum, paired exclusively with anti-galvanic stainless fasteners. Those standard materials might save you a few $1,000s up front, but they functionally cost you more when the frame starts bleeding rust and the fasteners snap within the first 24 months. Then there is the third reality of Florida living. Your backyard is exposed to over 80 species of mosquitoes and coastal pests. If a contractor uses standard grade mesh, it completely fails to stop microscopic insects like no-see-ums. The solution is a tightly woven 20 by 20 PVC-coated fiberglass mesh. The one trade-off is that this specific tighter weave requires slightly more frequent cleaning to remove surface dust, but it successfully balances airflow and UV protection while actually keeping the bugs out. If you don't engineer the mesh for local microscopic pests, the entire outdoor space becomes unusable during peak seasons. The fourth hurdle you will encounter is navigating the strict bureaucracy of the Florida Building Code. It is tempting to bypass professional engineering to save time, but doing so leaves you with an unpermitted structure that is highly vulnerable to storms and impossible to insure. This document is the Aluminum Association of Florida Guide. It serves as the legally accepted structural blueprint under the state building code. As outlined, this prescriptive design method allows rapid approval of structures rated for 150-mile-per-hour winds, avoiding a costly, standalone professional engineer stamp. Navigating these codes provides the legal guarantee that your structure will survive severe weather and add verifiable value to the property appraisal. Once the engineering standards are set, you have to choose between a permanent structure or a dynamic, retractable system based on your property's needs. A fixed aluminum pool cage, like the one shown here, gives you 365 days of permanent protection from the elements. It is also highly cost-effective when you break down the price per square foot. But if you don't want a permanently enclosed view, the alternative is a system of motorized retractable screens. The overlay text explains the heavy engineering required: motors built to handle increased friction and torque of heavy wind loads, reliably deploying against 75-mile-per-hour gusts. The trade-off with motorized systems is that they command a premium price and will require ongoing mechanical maintenance. In exchange, you get maximum architectural luxury. The correct choice for your home entirely depends on whether you prioritize the cost-effective static defense of a fixed cage or the premium dynamic flexibility of retractable shades. This wireframe diagram illustrates that true outdoor luxury is heavily engineered. Every element works in concert, from the structural skeleton down to the high-performance skin. This includes hidden necessities cheap bids miss, like flush-mounted deco channel drains for sudden downpours, and site-specific NAVD 88 datum surveys to ensure exact elevation compliance. Accepting a low price per square foot bid virtually guarantees these crucial structural elements will be left out, and that leads directly to catastrophic failure. Even with the highest level of engineering, you have to plan for long-term ownership. In a humid coastal climate, no architectural system is entirely maintenance-free. If you ignore routine upkeep, corrosive salt will build up on the frames, organic debris will jam the motorized tracks, and those expensive motors will degrade rapidly. To prevent that, you need a simple monthly schedule. do a quick visual check of tracks, and run a fast test on the motors. Follow up with deeper annual requirements, full hardware inspections, wind sensor recalibrations, and checking torque on fasteners. Committing to that basic schedule is how you protect a $20,000 to $50,000 investment indefinitely. If you are doing a quick property flip far inland, standard contractor mesh might survive just long enough to sell. But coastal Florida real estate requires serious, intentional engineering. The coastal environment is stunning, but entirely unforgiving to poor construction. That's exactly why property investors cannot trust outdoor spaces to standard contractors. You need the experts at Screen Factory Florida. They specialize in the exact high-velocity structural engineering and strict municipal compliance we've covered today. Contact Screen Factory Florida today to schedule a professional site assessment and start building an outdoor space engineered to survive the realities of the Florida coast.